got my face, so I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
In the same way that I studied and I wanted to be successful in ball is the way that I want to be successful in finance, right?
I love that.
Welcome to Insure Legacy, where purpose meets profit and where your brand is more than a business. It's a reflection of your identity. I'm your host, Tony the Tycoon, former collegiate and NFL champion, now wealth educator, and founder of Stat Financial. I help athletes and agents and entrepreneurs multiply income, impact, and influence by finding their purpose in their inner clarity. Today's episode is going to rewire how you view business. Too many people are out here trying to build an empire on what's trendy instead of what's true. Let me break it down for you. When your brand is just a product, it fades. But when your brand is an extension of your purpose, man, it becomes a force, unstoppable, uncopyable, unshakable. You see, this episode is for the legacy builders, the women, the warriors, the wealth multipliers who know they were created to do more than just close deals. You were born to carry a message. Let's talk about what it really means to build a brand that moves people. Not just to buy, but to move them to believe. Not just to sell, but to serve them. Let's go beneath the surface and build from identity so your business doesn't just produce income, it produces impact, influence, and most importantly, inheritance. So, with that being said, let's dive into it. Let's talk about the landscape. You see, today, most people step into the insurance or entrepreneur space. What product should I sell? What's hot right now? Or even questions like, how do I go viral? Those are the wrong questions. That's the mindset of someone building on sand and not on a solid foundation like stone. That's how you end up blending in and chasing clout and becoming a carbon copy of everybody else we see today. You see, I believe the real question should be, who am I? What have I overcome? And what do I truly believe deep down in my core? How can I help others win? Not with hype, but with truth. You see, the insurance industry is flooded with scripts, not stories. As a matter of fact, according to LIMRA, in McKinsey, more than 80% of life insurance agents walk away within the first 5 years. Why? Because they never built from identity. They built from imitation. And look, for the women out there in particular, the stats hit even harder. 30% exit within the first 90 days. And over 90% exit within 12 months. So you might ask yourself, well, what are the root causes? Well, there's a lack of mentorship, a lack of clarity, and most importantly, a lack of support. But there's also a lack of identity in the work. You see, this isn't just about numbers. It's about narrative. Your business has to be connected to your story. That's why people burn out. That's why rejection feels so personal. Because you never anchored your brand in who you are. And when your identity isn't aligned, your outcomes won't be either. You don't attract high-level clients by pushing policies. You attract them by walking in your purpose. So what's the game plan? Well, I can tell you for starters, let's move from playing small to playing from the soul. You want to build something that lasts? You want to build something that feeds your family, funds your future, and fulfills your calling? Then I need you to stop outsourcing your message. And I need you to start owning it. So you might be asking, well, how do we do that? Well, this is what we call flow. Because in flow, not hustle, not the grind, flow is about the alignment that multiplies what matters. So how do you turn your pain into a platform? What I have discovered is that the greatest brands are born from the greatest battles. What did you overcome? What broke you and built you at the same time? That's the birthplace of your brand. I'm here to tell you, your audience doesn't need perfection. What they need is your process. Because when you show people what you've lived through, man, I'm telling you, that draws them in. They listen and they believe. You know, you might be the mom who rebuilt after a devastating loss, or the athlete that got cut and had a comeback, or the woman who survived poverty and now teaches power. That's the message that moves the market. Did you know that 82% of consumers say they trust brands whose values align with theirs? That's not just marketing, y'all. That's ministry. Think about that. Think about the brands that make you pause. They're not louder, they're truer. They speak from scars, not scripts. They lead with substance. So you have to allow your pain to be your pedestal to your promise. Next, you got to position yourself with purpose. Why? I'm glad you asked. Because clarity is currency. Once you found your truth, the next step is to assign it, direct it, speak it to the ones who need it most. Ask yourself, who am I uniquely positioned to serve? What do I want them to feel when I speak? How does what I offer help fulfill their need, help fulfill their future? You see, you're not in the business of closing sales. You're in the business of opening destiny. You offer a peace of mind. You offer preparation, preservation of generational wealth. When you speak with a mission, not just a sales pitch, your audience doesn't scroll past. They lean in. And they lean in because purposeful positioning doesn't attract clients. It attracts covenant connections. Lastly, you got to sell from your identity, not from desperation. Here's the truth. You can't fake flow. People can tell when you're pushing a product out of panic. But when you're grounded in identity, when your business flows from who you are, the sales don't feel like selling. They feel like serving. Even Jesus said that the greatest among you will be your servant. When you understand that, that's when it shifts. That's when you stop hustling for crumbs and start commanding contracts. Identity-based business doesn't just change your revenue, y'all. It changes your reputation. Because when your business is built from the inside out, it becomes untouchable from the outside in. That's what creates the overflow. That's how you move from survival to sustainability. There's a power in the word decision. And when you decide to make that shift to legacy, you will only align with what's real to you and your calling. Again, allow your pain, I say to you guys, to be the pedestal to your promise. Because when you build from your core message, that becomes magnetic. I want to give you guys an example of two agents that I coached. We'll call them Agent A and Agent B. When Agent A came in, came in loud. Was quick to quote, faster to close. But her brand was built on hype. It wasn't built from the heart. 6 months later, she burned out. Why? There was no depth, no referrals, and most importantly, she had no direction. When Agent B came in, she came in quiet, but her why was crystal clear. She had lost her father at age 14, and her mission was to help families be prepared for the unexpected. Every conversation that she ever had with any of her clients came from the heart, not from a script. Guess who hit 6 figures in less than a year? It's not the loudest that wins, it's the most aligned. And here's the revelation. Your business will never outgrow your personal clarity. The stronger you are with your internal foundation, the higher your external structure will go. So stop faking it till you make it and start facing it until you build it. Face the pain, face the history, face the calling, and then build. Because the world doesn't need another policy pusher. It needs you. Full, bold, refined by the fire, and unapologetically aligned. So here's my challenge to you for all of those that are watching this video. If something inside of you just got lit up, that's not coincidence, y'all. That's confirmation. You've been playing it safe with your gift, and you know it. But deep down, you also know that your voice carries weight. Your story carries healing, and your identity carries inheritance. Building from identity isn't just a concept, it's a calling. You were designed with a purpose, on purpose, for a purpose. And when you align with that, man, acceleration becomes automatic. You don't need to chase. You need to clarify. Because when you build from identity, everything connected to you starts to rise. So with that being said, my team and I have created something to help you get started. Listen, I want you guys to join the movement, right? Of female entrepreneurs who are tapped in on building through purpose and passion and not by the paycheck. All you have to do to get started is go to statybooks.com/insure her. And if you want to go deeper, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, and follow me at Insure Legacy for weekly strategies that help you build from within. Listen, guys, I want you to remember something. I want you to remember when your business is built from who you are, no competitor can copy it because they didn't walk your walk and they don't have your experience. And around here, that's what we like to call flow. Find your foundation, live your assignment, own your influence, and win with wisdom. It's not just a framework, it's how you align your identity with impact and build a legacy that lasts. Run well, young lions and lionesses. Stay aligned, stay assigned, and keep building the legacy that only you can carry. It's your man, Tony the Tycoon. I'm out.